was born in Charleston. I was born in hospital, Roper Hospital. The old Roper that's no longer there. That's where I was born. You know, my date, August 22nd, 1934.
I was born in Oindal, and we were living on Chapel Street, and that's a short subject, really. We had a pretty good lifetime coming up. Really, really was, and it was just something that you don't know normally take this seriously, but that back in those days, I mean, you did what you were told to do. Believe it or not, that's how we came up.
My parents ran a poultry farm. That's what they did. They had the incubator, and they hatched eggs and raised the chickens, and they had a store that they sold little baby chicks, or sometimes they let them grow, and then they put them in the store and the ice cases and sell them. And I used to work in the store too.
We used to sell peanuts from off of King Street and go down to the Battery. And that's what I used to do. I made my money. Yeah.
How much?
Well, I think it's a nickel.
A nickel?
A bag, yeah.
Yeah, I was skating around. I used to go there. It was on Meeting Street Road, not too far from where we lived. And my friend Bert and we'd walk up and skate all the time. Every night, just about. No, not every night, I'm sure, but it was what we had to do. We didn't have anything else really that much fun. So we skated, and I had my own skates. My daddy bought my skates for me. I remember I wanted them, and he said, you have to wait till Christmas. I said, okay, I'll wait for them. And that was fun, just having my skates in there. And I was skating around, and this group of guys came up, and they were kind of hanging around the rail that goes around the ring, but the outside of it. And I guess he must have motioned for me to come over. Yes. Anyway, that was the beginning.
Oh, I just made myself available. It really was. I would go to the skating ring every night afternoon, and the most enjoyable part of me meeting her. I'd stay there and I'd just keep them away from her. I wouldn't let her get close to them.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, there was some sailors. You know, we had the Navy base, and there were sailors. So I knew some sailors too that had motorcycles too.
Yeah. And I had a motorcycle.
Oh.
I'll tell you about the motorcycle. I loved it. Harley Davidson.
Yeah, he had a good one. With his name across the back. Big Graham.
That was, I had a double seat on a motorcycle. And had a brim all over it. And my father made it possible for me to have a motorcycle. And I was riding motorcycles when I met her at the skating ring. You know, I just enjoyed watching her out there, and I was going home with them. And that's a story about us meeting each other.
Yeah, that was the beginning. Yes,
Mhm.
we'd go to the beach. We liked to go to the beach. That was one of the things we both liked to do. And then they had mostly all movies were drive-in theaters. Way back then, that's what they had. Yeah. So if you wanted to see a movie, you had to go in a car. But tell them about the Naval Reserve.
The Naval Reserve?
Yeah. What was your good experience in your Naval Reserve?
You don't hear that.
Yeah, I do.
I,
It was a good experience. I mean, no, it wasn't a good one, but it's something that he did. Graham, listen. When you went in the Naval Reserve, what did you do? One night when they wouldn't let y'all come back in harbor? The land? Is that what you call harbor?
yeah, because it was a hurricane.
It's a hurricane out there. So that ship had to go back out in it, and what happened? You got so sick. You told him, you said, I'm leaving. I'm not staying in the Naval Reserve. And he's told the guy.
Well, when I met you, I told you. I told him that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what he told me. And he told him, he said, I can run faster than I can swim. And the man said, whoever this captain was, he said, well, you're going to be drafted. And he was.
What's I doing? I was a soldier.
He was during the Korean conflict. And they were shipping him out to North Korea, South Korea. And you remember? You told me all this.
Yes.
And he said they picked him to stay in the United States to be a physical trainer instructor, to teach the guys how to be prepared physically. And yeah, I'm telling you,
That's what it was.
lots of muscle. Well, go back to, I was still in school when he was at Fort. They sent him to Fort Bragg to be in training classes to become this instructor, and he would come home every weekend. So one weekend he came home and he brought a beautiful diamond ring for me, and it wasn't very, that was probably about, I'd say 6 months maybe before we got married. We got married before he was out of the Army. And as soon as I graduated, 3 weeks later, we got married. He came back home, and he was home almost every weekend. And we were married in St. Barnabas. Oh,
That's all we could do. Have
daughters.
girls.
That's okay. Yeah, we're happy with our girls. We love them, and they were pretty good girls. They did try sometimes to be bad, but they knew we didn't like it. They knew, and so they would all straighten up. They were good girls, and they are good girls, and we love them, and our life wouldn't be the same if we didn't have them. Brenda was always doing something that she shouldn't. When Kathy was about 6, maybe she was 4 or 3, well, she pushed her out of a chair. I mean, just pushed her for no reason. And Kathy broke her collarbone. See, it's funny in a way, but not really funny. But that was just one thing you won't forget when you see one of your children being so mean to another one. Well, Brenda won't like me telling that story, but it's true. Oh, and then there were other things that happened right down here on Apple Street, that they were riding their bicycles and all that. My daddy loved these children, yes. He would do everything he could with them. They loved him and spent time with him, and he raised pigeons. You know, he was in the poultry business, and then later in life he just raised, they were racing pigeons, which they'd train them. They had to take them to train them to come back home. So he would take my girls every time, you know, so they could see them, and then they'd get back home and watch them come back to where they were from, right there. Right on Apple Street.
Her mother was raising pigeons, racing pigeons, and I was adopted by her mother. She
did like him.
Her mother.
He also liked her cooking. He loved her food.
Food. That's all. I mean, I didn't.
She really was a good cook.
She was a cook.
Yeah, and he loved coming around. He always had a place at the table. Now we had a house, and my mom and dad had a house, okay? But that was, you know, we moved in our house on Apple Street about the time they did. We grew up on Meeting Street Road, and then it turned into the Cottsgrove Avenue because they built that first bridge. Okay. Well, when we first moved, when Kathy was born, we lived up off of Rivers Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when she was only 1 year old, we moved on Apple Street. On Apple Street, in a little small house that's still down there. Before you knew it, we were moving out of there because it needed work, and moved back into Dorchester Terrace. We bought a house, and we were living in it. And then we moved back up here when we built a house down on Apple in '61. And we stayed there until we were in the house that we're in now, till '69. Okay? That's all you want to know about that, isn't it? Such a wonderful experience. You don't know that until you have a grandchild. Your first grandchild is very, very special, but as more came along, they got special too. So all of them are special to me. All of them. From the first to the last. And all the little great-grandchildren, they're just adorable. We love them all. And we miss the little ones that have gone. It's a great feeling. I love each and every one so much. And so does he too. He loves everybody. It's really great. I know people that don't have any children or grandchildren, and I feel sorry for them because they've missed in life what everybody should experience. But God has reasons for some people not to be able to enjoy a big family like we have. And I thank God every day. Be faithful, God-fearing, do the right thing all the time. Be nice to people. Be extra nice to people. And live a good life. That's it. Please, and I don't know if I should say this, but I hate to see our church go under, but it may in time. But always remember that my mother was a charter member, my daddy too, but they don't talk about him that much in being a charter member. But I hope my family will all just stay glued together. Always. What do you think?
I agreed with that. I mean,
It's been a happy and a good life, for sure.